This tutorial is going to show you how to use or create external forms for use by your club. Click on Super Users and you come down to Create External Form. On the left-hand side, you've got all the fields that you can drag and drop across. So I'm going to start off by showing you how to do that. Obviously, there's instructions at the top, which are very important. Please do read them and make sure you take note. Swimmer's first name would be an obvious first one to use. So as you can see, very easy, just drag and drop. And you keep doing that with all the different fields that you want to make up whatever the form is that you're wanting to create. Some of our clubs have used it for entry forms for competitions. They've used it for swim camps. Obvious ones, of course, are initial inquiry forms and registration forms and all that sort of thing. But you can use them for any number of things. Some people have got quite creative with them. At the bottom on the right hand side here, it gives you a chance to name the form and then heading wording or footing wording can be inputted in those two boxes. There's also a few check boxes down here. Will it be an inquiry form? If it is, you tick yes. If it's not an inquiry form, but you want it to be a registration form linked to a previous inquiry form, then you click on that one and make your selection. But I'll show you more about that in a minute. Display club's logo. Most clubs do want their logo displayed at the top of forms, and ability to create a member from this form. If you tick that one, and you've done a registration form as well, the three will all link together and save you a lot of time from the perspective of a membership secretary later on. So very, very important. So the only other thing I need to mention before I leave this page is this writing in bold here is extremely important. If you don't include an email or phone number fields on your form, you won't have any way of knowing how to contact the person that is inquiring or the person that is filling in that form. So do make sure that you include those easy fields in there as a matter of course. Right, let's go back to external form list and I can show you the ones I've already done. So in the first instance, I've done a first inquiry form. If I click on that, you can see the various fields that I've chosen to use. And if I scroll down, you can see I've called it first inquiry form. I've put a little bit of wording there. I've told it to use the logo and I've told it to have the ability to create a member. I've also already ticked the fact and acknowledged that this is an inquiry form and that's why that little box has disappeared. So that's already to use. And you can see at the moment we've not had any inquiry forms submitted. So in other words, it hasn't been put on the website, or it has been put on the website, but nobody's made use of it yet. Once somebody has made use of that inquiry form, you will not be able to go back in and make any changes to the fields that are on it. You will need to remove their submitted forms, in other words, hopefully process them, and then you can go back in and change it. It's all to do with the way that the information and the data is stored. So it's described a bit here in the writing at the top of the page, so make sure you take notice of that. Right, if I click on the little action icon there, you can see the form URL, which is the most popular way that clubs are using this. They get their webmaster to embed this code into their website in the place that they want it. And when somebody from the outside clicks on it, it shows the form that you have designed and created. So we're going to go ahead and fill in this form today so that you can see where we're going from here. Let's just create a fictitious person. We're going to stick with female and anywhere road, anywhere town. Email address, I'll put my, there we go, we'll put her emergency number down and we'll say that Margaret is her mother. We'll say no medical information, no disability, and of course a reCAPTCHA box to prevent spam from occurring. So submit form. This form is very important because it contains the ERN, and the ERN will become visible in a moment. You'll see what we need that for. So if I go back to our form and then back to the external form list, we now go to the initial registration form. So what's happened is that you, as an admin person at the club, or whoever your admin person is that's dealing with inquiries, will have received notification of that inquiry coming in. You would have dealt with it, and you would have said to them, right, well, you now need to register with the club if you wish to carry on and join us. So you then create your registration form, you put the URL link on the website, and yet again, you've got the same sort of thing. So now here is where the ERN is needed that that member would have received. So inquiry reference number, ERN, and if I just pop back to that one, I'm trying to find where it is, there it is, and I copy it, hopefully it'll let me paste it, there we go, click on continue, and you can see all the details that were entered on the other form just now have now been entered into this form, which is much longer. This is the registration form that we've created. And if you look at the red asterisks, that is just showing compulsory, mandatory fields. So I now need to go through and just fill in a few others. Let's just pop in another number. If we scroll down, medical, disability, that all stays the same. And now you will see there's the GDPR that I included for this one because it's registration, so it needs a lot more info. How long do we keep your personal data? A bit more info there. Now, these were all available as fields, which I dragged and dropped. And then down here, of course, we've got some tick boxes. So let's go ahead and tick those, especially the bottom two, because they have got red asterisks. Once again, a reCAPTCHA button. Tick that. Click Submit Form, and it says your details have been submitted, and in this instance, Test Swimming Club, but of course it could say, I don't know, London Swimming Club, have been notified. A club representative will contact you soon with further details. And in that respect, the club will get that information, and you then process it and deal with it as you need to at your end for that person to become a member and join your club. If we go back to the external form list, you can now see that the first inquiry form has been submitted, as has a registration form. The numbers are showing there. So if we just go along and have a look at these action icons, update form email address, display submitted forms. So if I click on that, you can then see the form that was submitted. So as I said earlier on, if you wanted to change your form, you would need to go into this one, delete the submitted forms, and then you would be able to go back and amend that registration form. But as long as there's a form submitted, you cannot change anything on the actual form. Once they've been processed, of course, they come off, so then you can change it again if you need to. So we've already done, you can export the submitted forms to Excel. That, of course, was the URL. And this one is to display the form. So you need to tick the form, tick it so that it displays it. So the top one is displayed, yes. The bottom one is currently not displayed. There's an N there for no. So if we switch that back on, it goes to yes. And I think that is just about everything you need to know.